Icy Dad People.
Hello and welcome back to the I See Dad People podcast.
Hey yo.
What's up?
Hey.
We have finally got his... I'm putting one in the swear jar for this. Finally got his ass over here. Will.
Yep.
He's been in New York for the past week and a half.
Willie
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Chilling.
Very good. So we're going to just jump right into it with our icebreaker here. What power would you rather have? Invisibility, super strength, flight, teleportation, mind reading, or underwater breathing? And I can repeat those. That's a lot.
All day teleportation.
Teleportation?
Yeah.
So you can be Nightcrawler all day long?
Yeah. Straight up.
Sheesh. Well, I'm scared of water, so... Or deep water. I have thalassophobia. We can talk about that on a different episode, but... Yeah, I don't know if I can do underwater breathing, even though I'm scared of water.
I don't think you would need that as much as you could. You could use teleportation like nonstop.
Right.
Super strength would be cool, but
Then people are going to rely
Only
on
goes
you.
so far.
People are going to rely
Right.
on you to do too much.
because then what would I do? Because I don't run into a lot of situations on a daily basis where I need super strength. But if I could like be in bed and then the baby monitor is going off and like my son's awake and just teleport in there, be like, "What's up, son?"
That might make it difficult for him to go back to sleep.
Yeah, on this poll here, it looks like teleportation's a popular one.
Yeah. I would probably do teleportation.
Okay. Here's a good one. Would you rather get $10,000 or $1 million? But this poll goes out to everyone in Burnett, and unless you choose the least popular one, you don't get anything. So it's really like the prisoner dilemma. Like, I ask 100 people, would you rather have $100 or $1,000? And if you choose the most popular one that the most people chose, you get nothing.
What?
So it's kind of like a psychology thing. So if you choose 100, that might be what everyone's thinking. So they choose 100 because they think that that's going to be the unpopular one.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword. And you're going to think people are choosing that number, and then, there's that one guy is going to get the million.
Right, you're right, exactly. Yeah, this poll here that I'm just going through these like would you rather questions. This poll here, 5.6 thousand people chose $1 million, 1,000 chose 10,000. So people were still going for the
big one.
biscuit there.
Yeah.
But
Sheesh. Well, then put me on the biscuit. I'll take it.
but yeah, anyway. Hello, like we were saying, and welcome back to the podcast. I See Dad People. We're going to be going over today. Here, I'll hit you with the reverb. You say it, Thomas.
Which
Ready?
one? Hold on. Oh, that's right. Go ahead.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Haunted crime scenes.
Okay. Well, we shouldn't have really done crime scenes plural. We're going over one specific one. We'll probably do more in the future.
Correct.
But we're going to be going over the very infamous case of Chris Watts. And if you don't know who Chris Watts is, they're from Colorado, correct? Happened in Colorado?
I think so.
Yeah.
Frederick, Colorado.
He is from They are from Frederick, Colorado. This is a classic case of a family annihilator, is what they're called in the serial killer world, where one person kills their entire family, and it's just kind of like a shocker. But so I've watched a lot of stuff on this Chris Watts case, and I think you can tell from the very beginning that the guy's got something. He's got some like screws loose. He's just like very quiet. I'm sure y'all watched the documentary and everything on it, or like have you seen anything on it?
Yeah.
I've watched some of the documentary, but heard most of it from my old boss.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So go ahead and tell us about that.
Probably not gonna disclose her name.
No, yeah, you don't have to do that.
But she grew up with what's her name? Shannon. Shanann, and she grew up with Shanann, and was best friends from like elementary to college. They lost touch after college. Still talked every once in a while, but it was pretty shocking, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
and so,
dude.
just for the record, Shanann Is it Shannon or Shanann? I'm pretty sure it's Shanann.
Shanann.
Yeah, Shanann is Chris's wife, and he killed his wife, Shanann, and his 2 daughters.
Bella and Cece.
Yep.
And then their unborn little one, Nico.
And she was pregnant as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so he essentially he killed his family, and we find out, the police found out he was having an affair on his wife, and the reason he was doing this was to, like, run off and be with her and start over.
Right.
Which rational people like us, hopefully all of us,
right.
would say, like, if you're unhappy, why not just... I don't understand that. Why not just get a divorce and, like...
Right.
It's still, a sad situation, but a lot less sad and evil than killing your whole family.
Yeah. Or, like, reach out and, have some, like, couples therapy or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded like he's already made up his mind. That's the only reason I say that, but I just can't comprehend that as a dad, especially. And I know y'all are the ones with daughters, little girls around, and picturing someone doing that is just, like,
dude,
infuriating to say the very least.
No, I mean, not even just picturing it, like, putting yourself in the shoes of this dude and then thinking, like, I mean, I would never think in a million years that I would do anything like that to my kids, much less my wife and anybody, honestly. I mean, like, like I wouldn't do that at all. And for this guy just to straight up come up and just take everybody out was just freaking crazy, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Monday, August 13th, this is back in 2018, in the early hours, Chris killed his wife and daughters and dumped their bodies, the girls' bodies, into an oil tanker. Like he worked for the oil fields. He was like I'm assuming he was in, like, upper management, because he seemed like he had some money. His house is huge, and he drives, like, a super nice vehicles. Everything in their house is super nice.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's in some sort of management in the oil fields, but he went out there and dumped the 2 girls' bodies into the oil tanker, and then his wife's body was found, like, in the field beside it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a social media
like queen
star.
Yeah, she worked too. She worked from home, though. And I thought she was in some sort of MLM thing.
What's that? Like
Pyramid scheme, type. I don't want to shit on her job. Well, swear jar. $2 already. I thought she was in some sort of thing, like selling makeup or, like,
she was
beauty
selling
consulting.
Yeah, it was like a patch that, like, helped you, like, I don't know, it was almost like an energy patch.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But she was good at it. And
yeah.
She worked from home and had a successful career, and she was on social media and was, like, had a following and stuff. So I'm sure she made good money doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But essentially what happened is, so Monday, August 13th, Shanann, they noticed her car still there, and her next door neighbor, who's also one of her best friends, hadn't heard from her in a while, so she calls the cops to do a welfare check. The cops show up. Chris is, in quotes, at work. He wasn't at the house. Mm-hmm. So the cops show up to the door, knocking on the door. No one's there. They're kind of looking inside. They get a hold of Chris, and he comes back to the house, and then they conduct a search and tell him, like, well, your friend hasn't seen your wife in, like,
a few hours,
and she normally sees her.
Yeah, she was supposed to go to, like, a doctor's appointment to check up on the baby, and
she was supposed to go with her. Yeah, and, like, drive her there, and, just being a nice friend to her. And so they go in the house, start doing a search, and if you I highly encourage all of you to watch these body cam. It's all in body cam footage. Yeah. It's so, eerie the way he acts.
Yeah.
Because he's, like, immediately you can tell something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like, walking around frantically. He also doesn't seem that nervous.
Right.
If the cops called any of us back to our house and said, hey, we think your wife's missing, you imagine the state of frantic you'd be in?
Why are we at our house right now? Let's go find him. Come on.
Yeah. And so they walk around the house. They end up finding her phone. She left her phone there. She left her shoes there, which, according to her friend, are, like, her favorite shoes that she wears every day. It's like her daily shoes.
Right.
They find the girls' blankets.
The wedding rings.
They said that Chris was like, this is wrong. The girls don't go anywhere without their blankets. It's like, yeah, no shit, Chris, because you know that they're dead.
No, the swear jar.
Dude.
That's $3 today.
Dude, See, I've got to break that habit quick because my son doesn't speak English yet.
No.
And I shouldn't be doing it in front of him anyway because he does. But y'all are around kids that will repeat what you say. So.
Oh, okay, I can afford 2.
I will put. I think I owe $4 in there now because 2 of them last time were mine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already have mine in there.
Yeah. So I'll put mine in there.
What did you say?
I said the S word.
So they're looking around the house, and we're gonna just first half cover what happened, and second half we're gonna get into the eerie.
Yeah, the paranormal side.
Stuff. Yeah. And so a lot of that kind of intertwines right now, but we're only going over just the true crime aspect for now. But they're walking around the house. Girls' blankets are still there. Wife's items are still there. Chris is frantically on his phone.
Yeah.
He's going through his phone and looking through stuff. And you
Probably
can tell,
deleting stuff.
Probably, yeah. And you can tell the cops, like, already on
noticing,
to him.
Yeah. So I saw one where the cop does this thing where just to check to see if you are suspicious about something, they go behind you and they do like this, like a call where it means nothing. It's just like a testing, like they're testing their mic. And he did it behind Chris. And Chris, like a freaking
like
kid,
a radio check with his dispatcher.
Yeah, that's all he was doing, is a radio check. Hey, just checking to make sure but they do it on purpose because they want to see if they can get a reaction. He goes behind Chris and does the radio check, and Chris just like flips around and stares at him with his eyes wide open, thinking he's behind me, he's about to arrest me.
He's like, is everything okay?
Yeah. Dude was
I didn't
guilty
do it
from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And so he's going through his phone. They are searching downstairs. They search upstairs. Essentially, in the same day, the other neighbor comes over. This is the neighbor on the other side, not the wife's friend, but right. I assume they still know them. And the guy's like, well, my garage, he's got security cameras, and his garage, one faces to where you can see Chris's garage, too. And so he's like, well, let's see if we can go through my cameras and see if we see when she leaves.
Yeah.
And so they go over to the neighbor's house. He's got the camera pulled up on his TV, and he's going through. And the whole time, Chris is having like
a panic attack.
Absolute panic attack. He has his hands on his head like this while he's watching, and he keeps like facing away and then like facing back, and he's sweating like bullets. And the cop and the neighbor are both like, when Chris leaves the room to go check something, the cop's like looking at the guy,
is
and
that
then the
normal,
neighbor,
he says?
Yeah, he's like, is that normal? And the guy's like, no, he's not acting right at all. Like, he's normally super quiet, like calm, but he's freaking out.
Yeah.
And so on the footage, you can see Chris's truck back into their garage. This is at like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You could see his truck back into the garage, and he's getting like tools out of his truck and like making room for something. And then you at the time you couldn't tell it was like bodies or anything, but he's like loading into the back of the truck. You don't actually see the bodies in the camera, but he's loading stuff into the back of the truck, and then he leaves, and he claims to the officers he was putting his tools in there for work or whatever. Yeah.
Sure.
But you never see Shanann leave the house or the girls.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, this is video evidence, dude. Like, how dumb can you? What do you think? Like, how dumb can you be? I want to make clear for the record, too, this Chris Watts guy is an absolute idiot.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand how he thought he would get away with this.
My thing is, how did he pull somebody like that?
Like his hot wife?
Like his wife. Like him being just a total douche, moron, idiot. Like,
yeah.
To be able to get somebody whose head is screwed on straight and she knows what she wants.
Yeah.
You know, like, it didn't just happen.
Narcissism.
Most
likely.
That's another topic we can put.
He's probably just been like lying to her the whole time about who he is, you know? Like, right. He tried to act like he's a family man and all this stuff, and it's just,
in reality,
he's a psychopath.
He's just done with it.
Yeah. And he also, for the record, like a year or two before this, was a heavier guy.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we got to 2018, when this all happened, he was in great shape. He like lost a bunch of weight because he's dating he's having an affair with this chick and trying to like clearly cheat on his wife.
How long was that affair going on beforehand? Does it say?
I don't know if they said.
So
I think it was like a year.
So I did, whenever I did some research, it said that Nicole Kessinger, which is the mistress, she checked on him and Shanann a year before the actual killings were done. So she already knew who he was, who she was, and then a few months later she was working at his site. So they're saying that's when they kindled their relationship. But
so she worked at the oil place too?
Yeah, she was like a temp. She was tipping, for doing different things,
Yeah.
But I believe it can happen even before then. I mean, for her to check a year and then a couple months later and then she's there and then, now we rekindled it. No. You've been doing this for a while, dude.
I might be going off on a tangent here, but doesn't she seem a little bit weird?
Yeah, we'll talk about that
situation?
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So nothing I watched. Thomas was telling me about stuff he's watched about her. So I'll let him when we get into that part, take the lead on that. But I didn't see anything about her having any sort of involvement. All I knew was he did that and then told her about it, or she found out about it, and then she dipped. She was like out of there. Mm-hmm. They never talked again after that, unless he's calling her from jail. But apparently, we'll get into it. But he's like a saved Christian, major Christian guy in prison now.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right. My gosh, dude. As a Christian myself, man, I mean, yes, God can save you and you can be forgiven of your sins, but I mean, there's a special place in my heart for people who just are just using that as a cop out. Like, I don't know if I can believe anything you're saying now after what you just did.
Yeah, that's what turns Christianity off for a lot of people is people use it as a weapon for their own, pursuits, not even wanting to be religious.
I think it's safe to say this guy had crazy mental issues.
Oh yeah,
definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because there's plenty of people who are legit like sociopaths walking among us now in this town, probably. But it's like no one is that crazy to act on something like that,
right?
Except maybe the guy I pissed off on Facebook yesterday. I don't know if any of you saw that. That was like my once every 5 years I get into a major social media spat with someone, and that I used my ticket yesterday. So I'm due maybe in 2030 for my next. Anyway, but
why is it always on election year?
So they end up, that tensions are high right now.
Right.
So they end up they don't have any evidence right now. It's just suspicion, so they can't arrest Chris, but they're suspicious of him.
Right.
But cops go away. They start their investigation. They let Chris stay in his house. He makes several news appearances. He's on the news being like, baby, if you're watching this, like, I just want those two little girls to come home.
I just want them back.
He's like, if anyone knows anything, like, there's a reward, all this stuff. And it's all BS.
Right.
I spoiled it already, but he killed his wife and daughters. So it's all BS.
Right.
But it's like, he's really putting on a show. And then this is where it starts getting juicy, is they bring him in for questioning because they went through his phone records, found that he's cheating on his wife. They're already talking about starting a new life together and all this stuff. His phone ping was leaving. Her phone stayed at the house. His phone ping at that exact hour where the guy saw him on the cameras, went from there to his work, which wasn't open.
No.
And there's something going on here. So they bring Chris in and they start doing an interrogation on him. And I love, by the way, watching interrogation videos. That's like one of my favorite things ever. I don't know if y'all have watched JCS Criminal Psychology, but it's like started the whole genre of that. Mm-hmm. And so the guy starts off playing dumb. He's like, well, tell me what happened. Like, we're just trying to find them. Any information you can provide to us. You're not a suspect at the moment. Which they don't have to tell the truth about that. Of course he was a suspect because they already knew all this stuff. Right. But Chris says he doesn't know. The cop's like, so I look at a picture of you a few years ago, and now I look at you now, and you're in great shape. That tells me, were you cheating on your wife? And at first he straight up denies it. And he's like, no, absolutely not. I would never cheat on my wife. Like, her and those girls are my world and all this.
Well, I'm sure that's when they brought the file.
Yeah, that's when they were like, we found it.
We found it.
We know.
And then they eventually were like, well, who's Nicole? And he's like, well, I did have an affair a few years ago. She found out about it. We went to counseling, and we repaired all this stuff. And then they keep pressing, and he was like, well, okay, so we're actually in the process of getting a divorce. And the cops were like, what do you just said everything was all right.
Yeah.
And then he tells them that night, Chris told Shanann he wants to get a divorce and like go through the process of getting a divorce. And so he's kind of already setting up what's going to eventually be his excuse for what happened. And they keep pressing. Chris demands, he doesn't actually do this, but he demands that he wants to take a polygraph test. And so they bring in like supposedly one of the best polygraph people in the U.S. She like flies out and goes and hooks Chris up to this machine. Super nice lady, and she's actually an incredible interrogator herself.
Right.
Because she was super nice and acted like she didn't know any of this, but she was incredibly sneaky because the questions she asked and her demeanor toward the end of the test were so incredible to watch. So when they do a polygraph, they start by asking you like a control question where you're not lying. They're like, is your name Thomas? You'd say yes.
Yes.
So they know that's what it looks like, your heartbeat and everything on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ask another control question that you know is a lie. So if I asked Thomas, is your name Garrett? And you would say no, and you'd say yes. But you know you're lying, and so it would look like a different reading. So they have a baseline of what a truth and a lie looks like on the screen. And so they start going through and asking Chris these questions. And the new polygraphs are totally different. It's not just like an arm thing. You have stuff on your fingers. You're sitting on something. Mm-hmm. They have something hooked up to like on your chest.
For your breathing?
Yeah, for your breathing and stuff. It's super in-depth now. It's controversial still. Some people think polygraphs are like total BS.
Do they have that head thing too?
I don't know if they're... Not in Chris's. They didn't have anything on his head.
No, I think his was just his hand.
It shocks you if you get the wrong answer.
Wrong.
We're actually speeding this up, and we're going to go ahead and administer the electric chair right here. So they start asking him the control questions, and then they say, do you know where Shanann is?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, absolutely not. Do you know... Sorry, I'm missing the daughter. What are the daughters' names again?
Cece and Bella.
Do you know where Cece and Bella are? And he's like, no. And he's like, were you involved in their disappearance? And then they'll mix in these questions that they know are truths in, so they know still can compare.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, the lady's like, wow, you did really amazing on this. Like, you did exactly what I asked. You followed all my instructions completely. And Chris is like, great. And she's like, and it was completely obvious that you were lying on the test.
Well, I mean, so that's actually a way to catch a narcissist is you stroke their ego and then you drop the bomb and then see their reaction on that. So
yeah, 100%. She did it so good. And then when the cop, by the way, you can't use a polygraph in court. So he could have still remained silent at this point and not done anything else. But they kept applying pressure. And the cop was like, he sits down next to him and kind of grabs his hand. He was like, Chris, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. And he's like, I didn't do anything to those girls. I promise.
Those girls.
Then they hit him with final boss. Chris's dad is there. His dad comes in, sits down with Chris, holds his hand. He's sitting by him at the table, and he's like, just tell me. The dad wasn't applying any pressure. Chris was exhausted from all this interrogation. And Chris breaks down, starts crying, tells his dad that he came home and Shanann had killed the girls, and he went into a fit of rage and killed Shanann, is what he tells him. So now they've already got enough to arrest him.
Right. Probable cause.
But they're going for the whole biscuit.
Where are the bodies?
So they say, well, okay, so the cops come back in because they've got partial confession. He killed Shanann. Then they are like, by the way, we know that Shanann didn't kill the kids. And so they're trying to get the other piece. And he's like, I didn't do it. And he still, until his trial, remained that he didn't kill the girls. He said that Shanann did. He eventually pled guilty to the murder of his 2 daughters as well. And like we said, what he did was he strangled Shanann. And then, I didn't know this, but you said that I was under the impression he did that to all of them, but you said the autopsy, or Will said the autopsy showed that one of the girls was still alive when they put her into the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even imagine that, man. Like, what did he tell them? Like, ugh. It's just horrible. But,
well, and given the fact that what were they, like 3 and 5 or...
Yeah, like 5, 4, 3.
4 or 6, or, man, just...
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, it's cruel, but, I mean...
Yeah, even getting a divorce is cruel, but it's like, that's still... I can't even... That's another level of evil. Like, how heartless of a person do you have to be?
Right. And then the next day say, we just want them back. We want them back. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, you think all this is just going to slide off your plate and you're going to get to go be with your girl and it's just going to be the unsolved mystery of Chris Watts?
That's what he wanted. And then going to Nicole Kessinger, she knew exactly what was going on, in my opinion. Whenever they brought her in to interrogate her,
yeah.
she
So
did
talk
the same
about
thing.
that, because I haven't seen her interrogation. So tell us about that.
So they brought her in and they asked her, hey, we know about what's going on between you and Chris. They didn't even tell her about the killings just quite yet. They just asked her, hey, we know about what's going on with you and Chris. We just want to ask you some questions. And then she, was telling them some stuff. Yeah, we went on a few dates. Yeah, I was interested, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, well, can we see your phone? Because we just, we need to run some tests just to make sure. And she at first was kind of like, no, I don't want to. And then eventually it was like, okay, you're going to get popped with something if you don't give it up. So she gave up her phone. They saw that there were some text messages between her and another friend. And she was like, no, y'all need to leave him alone. He had nothing to do with this. Which, in my opinion, I felt like maybe this guy knew something too, and was trying to help her get away from Chris, or possibly go into hiding or something.
They were telling her that she needs to just leave Chris alone, like, because he's under...
No. She was telling the interrogators about a different guy. You need to leave him alone because they had found text messages on her phone.
Talking about Chris and the girls, though?
Right. And so she was like, leave him alone. He has nothing to do with this. And when Chris finds out that they're talking to her, he jumps in and says, no, I'm guilty of everything. Like, quick. Which tells you he's trying to save her from something. And that goes back to the video surveillance where I've seen a few breakdowns, but somebody had showed one like real slow. They doctored the video and shows a person leaving the house before Chris backs up his truck and starts a car and takes off. And then Chris walks out, grabs his truck and then backs it up. But since Chris already said, I did it all, there's nobody else they can convict. So in my opinion, she had something to do with it.
It sounds like it.
Right. And also, my biggest thing is the Ring camera that caught Shanann walking in the house. Why couldn't they get any more video off of that Ring camera after everything happened? They didn't. The
neighbor's camera across the street?
No. Their camera.
Oh,
yeah, so we'll
personal.
talk about this one. Like, we're about to get into the ghost part, but there was a... after this all... like when the investigation was still going on, before Chris got interrogated and all that, the night after the cops were there, the Ring camera caught someone leaving the house or coming into the house,
coming
right?
in, yeah.
Yeah. And so that prompted the cops to be like, who the hell is this?
Right. The neighbors of course, the neighbors and everybody in the neighborhood were probably watching the house.
Yeah. So this is like a hot spot now.
Right. And they caught the person walking
fly
in.
on your head.
Oh gosh, go away. But now they caught the person walking in, and then they also saw the light on the garage door open, or not open. Sorry, it was on.
Yeah, one of those automatic lights.
Yeah. So
and I don't think it was a Ring camera like I have, where you can see on your phone like the person walking up. I think it was like a security camera, like showing those sidewalk,
seeing like an angle.
Yeah.
Right.
And that prompted the cops to not even a welfare check. The cops like busted in the door. Well, they had the code to the door. They didn't bust the door down. But the cops came and they were like, who is in here? And they searched the whole house. Nothing until we go back and look at the body cam footage. And so now we'll get to the creepy side of things. So there were 2 more searches. They searched the house with a dog the next day. And that's where we get some of the activity.
So the first activity was when... they find out that they were killed, and so they do a... No, sorry. This was the first one they did was when they were missing. and he allowed the cops to come in and do the initial search of the house, put the body dog in there to try to find the cadavers or whatever.
I think they gave him the dog a scent of like the little girls, and were just like doing a thorough search of the house to see if maybe like they're hiding in a closet or dead in a closet or whatever.
And you know what's crazy is the same time that these body cameras were going on while they were checking, he was outside doing the interviews.
Yeah.
So it's like,
scumbag
like, dude, like, come on. I don't know. I don't like this guy at all.
No, absolutely
I really
not.
don't.
So let's start with that. I want to show a few things regarding the search with the cadaver dog. So, this
yummy.
is Will is drinking some Japanese whiskey.
Heyo.
Toki.
So this is when they're upstairs searching one of the girls' rooms.
So he's being captured in the background.
Yes.
Son of a gun.
Okay, and listen close here as well, because you can hear both the canine officer and the officer with the body cam on are like, "What was that?"
What was that? Wow. Yes.
Here it is again.
God dang it, dude.
What in the world was that?
Yeah, she's like, "What was that?"
Well, and, there are some toys that can giggle, but that's what they said in the video, too. They were looking for toys that they could have accidentally stepped on to trigger a giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, the canine lady's like, "Can you, like, mess around with these toys over here and see if, like, any of them made that noise?"
Dude, if you watch the video and look at that lady's face, she's scared out of her mind, bro.
Oh, yeah, she's like, "You go in."
She turned around and was like, "Did you hear that?" And then she goes, "Go check that toy right there to make sure." And, Ugh.
It's super... That's probably the creepiest... that's one of the creepiest parts of this.
Right.
And then there's a few more here. So, some of these, to me, as a skeptic, I'm like, this could be the officers, like, the mic's kind of close to them. Maybe they're, like, coughing or exhaling, and it just sounds like some sort of, like, almost like a word, but it's just their breath or something. But let's listen.
More EVPs captured in this residence.
Okay, so they're saying it's saying Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and this one's supposed to be saying mommy.
Yes. Yes.
That little mommy.
Yeah, it's like really high pitched, sounding like mommy. But they also said, so for the giggle one and this one, I saw someone trying to debunk it where they said there's a voicemail in like videos, like Chris was watching videos of the girls and stuff, but he wasn't upstairs at that point.
He's in the backyard, right?
He was in the front doing an interview.
Yeah. And they said there was a voicemail of Nicole where she had a giggle like that or something. I think let's play it. Hold on. See if I can find
Nicole Kessinger, the girlfriend doing the giggle. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a weird voicemail and like creepy.
Yeah, and she sounds creepy as hell anyway.
She's insane.
Hi.
This is his girlfriend.
But that giggle sounded quite a bit different from the one in that closet.
But still, it's a giggle.
Yeah, it's just so. Listen, who talks like this?
That's her?
That's his mistress.
Oh my gosh, what is she in, like Saw or something?
It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi.
That sounds like you're trying to be creepy.
So, okay.
It sounds like she's like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
So there's guys that have turn-ons where people act like that. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those guys.
I'm not either.
I'm not one of those guys where I want
especially when you murdered someone.
No, really, no. But I'm not one of those guys that like wants my wife to call me daddy. Like that.
No,
that's
creepy.
freaking
Yeah,
weird.
definitely not.
No, like I mean, we say like I tell my kids, "Hey, go see mommy real quick," or she'll say, "Hey, daddy said don't do that."
Yeah,
That's different.
Fine. That's fine.
But to sit back and like no, dude, that is not a turn on. That is not cute to me.
That
And
has
for
to be some sort of weird fetish.
some
thing
weird
for Chris.
She
Yeah.
probably got crazy eyes. Does she
So,
have crazy eyes?
Do you wanna
yes,
see?
yes,
It's right here. Here she is. So, not really, but it looks like one of her eyes is larger than the other.
That's definition crazy eyes right there.
She is a haunted painting.
Yeah.
Oh,
And for the record, the wife is like 10 times hotter than this lady.
Shanann is very beautiful compared to this chick. I don't understand.
Not that it matters, and I don't even know why I'm saying that, but
It does
It-
to this, yes, because it's like, dude, you just so okay.
your wife not being as hot as someone else also shouldn't determine if you murder her.
Exactly.
I should say.
Well, I say this in the part of reading some of the stuff that he has said and done, and one of the things he had said was that Nicole she did stuff that Shanann would always say no to. She was a little more kinky. She was a little more open to doing other things, and Shanann would say no. She didn't want to. But here's the thing, too. We had a person that had broke it down and said a woman who has had multiple kids doesn't feel a way of, I should do these things. I'm able to do these things, which is totally understandable.
Yeah, she's,
You're married. Things
Right.
aren't going to be crazy, like, crazy flingy, like,
Right.
Yeah, you
know.
go to the next level, know.
Right.
Yeah, you leave that high school stuff behind. And that was another person.
Waterboarding is one of my fetishes.
What?
Just kidding.
Wow.
Waterboarding, like torturing someone by like pouring water on their face.
Should we speak to your wife about
I'm
this?
joking. I'm joking.
I noticed
Waterboarding.
Is Thomas safe?
I noticed something in this picture which kind of, makes me think, what is this tag or sticker on her shoulder? Is she diabetic?
I think that might be the thing that she sells, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the thing that she's like a multi-level marketing person for.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it has like natural herbs and stuff built into this.
It's kind of like a granola, like caffeine pouch or caffeine sticker.
Right.
Like someone trying to get energy but not have anything unhealthy
Yeah.
in them.
And I know the name of it, but I don't want to say it because we're not promoting. And
Unless you want to sponsor this episode.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor it, hit us up.
That would be the most poor taste.
But yeah,
Moved by that company.
but no. So going back to the Nicole thing, man, like just her being able to send messages like that, and then all of a sudden saying that she had no connection with Chris whatsoever, and that was sent way before all this happened.
Yeah, I mean, that just, there's something else there.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's involved.
Yeah, I mean, why change your name?
Right. Well, the thing is, she changed her name. You can't find her nowhere. Her dad apparently was a private investigator. So like
Nicole's dad?
Yeah, his
So
mistress.
he knew their tricks.
Yeah, so he was like that quick. Let's get her out of here. Let's try to hide her. Let's keep her from the line. Like you can't find nothing else on her except what's already been
So
said.
she had someone on the inside.
Mhm.
Not on the inside, but knows the inside tricks.
Right.
Because if you're a private investigator, they're going to be like, okay, first things they're going to check is this.
Mhm.
So you want to get rid of this. You probably want to change your name. You probably want to move here so they can't extradite you and bring you back to Colorado or whatever.
Right.
That's interesting. Okay, let's listen to a few.
We're gonna find you,
more.
Nicole. If you're hearing this, we're gonna find you and we're gonna bring you to justice.
She's actually our first Patreon subscriber.
Oh,
Never mind, Nicole.
we'll
Love
find
you.
you soon. Keep,
It looks like she changed her name to Christina.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's not her at all, but we're calling this
Like,
random
hey,
person
can
out.
you send us a voicemail and then giggle to see if it's not you? Like,
Now it sounds like you have a fetish thing about that.
no, heck no, dude. It's no. I'm just saying, dude. We gotta find her, man. She's
I
she's
got
involved.
you.
She's involved.
Okay, so here's a few more. So this is supposed to say, I'm with Cece. That sounds like someone in the room is saying it.
Yeah, and maybe not
Or-
Cece, but Sissy.
If a cop's
I
like,
hear my daughter saying that all the time. Sorry to interrupt.
or
but
Sissy, maybe.
Yeah, like, hey, Sissy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only other thing I could think of is like, if you're like lifting something and you're like,
oh, this is heavy. You know, something.
But no one's lifting anything.
No,
so
they're just walking a dog through. There's 2 people and a dog walking through the house.
Play it back.
So it's like, I'm with CC. Here's another one that's supposed to say, this is our home.
See, that sounds... Yeah, that's more breathy. And
that one's creepy.
Honestly, if you listen to her voice behind that, I would say that's Shanann. I would say.
If it's a ghost, it's definitely her. Let's listen one more time.
Almost like something that was like stuck in the air while they were fighting. She could have been telling them, "This is our home, Chris, and you brought somebody here," or something.
Yeah,
Like,
That's almost the demeanor of it, too.
Right.
Like, this is our home.
yeah, like she was sad.
or maybe home as in like their spirits are trapped here now.
Could be.
Which, if I'm a ghost, you know what? Not gonna make the joke.
I'm just saying, that's a nice house, man.
I was gonna say, if I'm a ghost, I wouldn't mind being a ghost in my house because I'm a homebody and don't like to leave the house anyway.
There you go.
But I keep forgetting we're talking about a super serious topic here. So here's another one. This one's supposed to say something told her, and then there's also some like moaning you can hear.
Ooh.
And then like the moaning, that sounds like a guy though.
Yeah, the guy.
Which it doesn't
yeah.
make
It
sense.
sounded like the guy said something told her.
Because
and
no
then-
guy
Maybe it
died.
was one of the cops whispering or something. Something told her, and then the moan happened afterwards.
Maybe. Yeah, let's listen one more time.
I don't know. That something told her is really breathy, just like the "This Is Our Home" one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with my extensive knowledge of like EVPs and stuff, a lot of those things are real breathy, real open. They're not like straight up like, "Hey, I'm here." You know, it's
Right.
a little more, you know.
Yeah. Dude, you have so many freaking ghost stories. I'm excited to like get into
Bro.
the others. But we can't waste them all though. You can't just spit them all out in one episode because then it's just going to be, we won't have anything else.
Everybody on I See Dad People who listens to this, just wait.
Yeah, just wait because me and Thomas went and watched one of our friends, Brian, go. He was playing some music and singing. Shout out to Brian Gross.
Brian.
But he was telling me about some of his stories. And I'm telling you, if even one of those things you told me legit happened to me, I would have flipped out. So get excited, guys. We've got some crazy stories coming.
I got one at least.
Yeah?
But it's like a vivid, probably a nightmare. I don't know.
Still.
I'll just go ahead and release it.
You wanna-
Yeah, I'll just say
Okay.
it.
Here, let's get through a few more of these sounds and then in the wrap up,
Yeah.
everyone can, we'll
Yeah.
do a little creepy, leave us on a creepy note and everyone will tell creepy.
I do want to do the recap on episode 1 too.
Yeah, we're going to do a recap
So-
on the friend that was involved in episode 1's story as well. So I'm just going to play a few more. It's almost over. We pretty much went over everything except for there's a few more that these could just, in my opinion,
kind of be debunked.
debunked. Like maybe his shoe squeaked or like, you know, jacket if it's like a windbreaker, like swishing or something. But here's another. That sounds like someone scooting a chair or something. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
almost. Yeah. Is that
Like,
the
It's supposed to. It's labeled as child voice.
What?
This one's supposed to sit here. Let's play that one more time. Or maybe it's like the after or something. I don't know. You hear like a little childish sound after.
I don't know.
This one's supposed to say Amanda. Who? Is there an Amanda involved in this?
No.
She a neighbor?
You can kind of hear it.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
can
It
hear
sounds
that.
like someone's whispering Amanda.
It's either Amanda or they're saying, "Who did this?" Amanda. I don't know.
Maybe.
See, is that members of this?
We do not want to get flagged by this guy's YouTube channel.
No, but thank you.
Yes, shout out to King King Frostmare, I'm taking all these sound clips from your video, and I will not be paying for them. Thank you, though. So, yeah, Chris, that's all the creepy stuff that happened. I'm also going to, it's not really, we can briefly talk about it, but there's also some things they caught on camera. Like when the cop walked into the house for the first search they did without Chris there, you look in the mirror and it looks like there's someone standing in the mirror. A lot of people say, well, that's the cop in the mirror because he turns and you can see someone kind of off to his left. Mm-hmm. But then when he scoots up, he was you couldn't see him from where he was standing. Right. He scooted up and got into the spot where we saw it when he was standing back before.
Right.
And then that stairwell.
Yeah, the stairwell. That was during one of the searches at night.
There's a few of those. The
cop turns and it does look like a little girl standing beside him.
A clear dark figure just kind of slipping behind the corner of the wall upstairs. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna splice together a video to post on our Instagram of what we're talking about. That's why I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's just audio. But I will post a video of the visual stuff they saw. In my opinion, the one of him on the stairway, the only thing that could have been maybe he picked up a blanket or something and was holding it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he turned and he's holding a blanket or a pillow or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's the only possible thing, but you'd think they would say that if...
Right.
Yeah, to make it clear that they're touching something. You don't want to disturb a crime scene, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not trying to go out of your way to touch anything, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious on the rules on that. Can you touch anything?
Only with gloves. And you have to say out loud what you're touching and what you're doing with said thing.
I'm making a sandwich.
Chris has no taste whatsoever in lunch
turkey.
meat.
Forest smoked ham?
Salami, what a douche.
I hate pepper turkey.
White bread.
He's throwing the bread.
Doesn't expect anything else than that. So I'm just kidding.
Dude, we want to talk about corrupting a crime scene. I'll talk about this after, but I have a story on that.
Okay.
Another episode we can do.
Okay. To add on to the paranormal stuff on this one, the people who now own the house that Shanann and the kids were murdered in are claiming that there are more paranormal things. They have yet to film some of them. They want to, but they are in the process of, I don't want to believe it because we're just trying to live here.
Trying to not have a demon in my house?
Yeah, so they're seeing apparitions. They're hearing voices. They're lights coming on by themselves, turning off by themselves, stuff like that. So it's it's an ongoing paranormal thing. They've already remodeled the house. They've, switched carpet out. They've repainted. They've changed walls. They've made it look a little decent, more than what it was already. But these people are like, I'm moving out. I can't stand it.
I would not want to live somewhere.
So is it a family or is it just a couple?
I think it's a family.
Because you have to tell someone if someone died in your house before you sell it.
Oh,
I'm sure it's
I'm sure they know the story. They got to be kind of, in that world already, knowing what they're going into.
Well, knowing them, it was probably oh, man, this is a steal. They're selling this house for a good price because nobody wants to live in a house that happened in,
Right.
Yeah. So, I would imagine they kind of knew before they bought it.
Right, yeah. So, that's
from a finance point, that's probably smart. You're probably getting the house for a steal.
Right.
But, man.
But, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. Mm-mm. I don't know. How much of a steal are we talking? Nothing. If you got it for free, would you live there?
No.
No?
No, because then I would just resell it and get the money from that.
Well, it's in the contract. You can't do that.
Oh, now I just bulldoze it and sell the land. I'm not living in there. I'm not going to live in there.
It's still going to be happening on the land.
Here's the thing. I won't live in there, but I will sure in the heck, I'll stay the night in there. If I have the opportunity.
We can spend the night.
If I have the opportunity to stay in there, not by myself, but the opportunity to stay in there, I will.
I'd do it.
I'm down.
I'd do it too.
Let's get some EVP detectors. Maybe some dots system.
Here's my precautions, though. You pay for everything, and I'll do it for you. Not you per se, Garrett, but
wait, what?
the people, the people out here in the universe.
Pay us to go.
Yeah.
To go stay at a haunted place.
And this is coming from somebody who is a sensitive to things like this. Somebody who is a skeptic, and then Will. So it's
yeah.
Where do you stand, Will? I'm on the kind of opposite end of Thomas, where I'm skeptical on ghosts.
Well, I'm kind of like probably halfway.
See?
Like I've had like some experiences that I can't really truly explain. I know people that I trust that have had experiences that they can't explain. Should I go into what I was going to say earlier, or?
Yeah, let's just wrap the Chris thing up. So anyway, that's pretty much the end of it, of our segment. You can dive as deep into this as you want, because there's like 3-hour documentaries on this on YouTube, which I watch.
And they're still being told till today. Like, there's people still doing lives about, hey, so what do y'all think about the new update? Or, oh, they found this out. Like, what do y'all think?
Yeah.
And it's still going, man, after all these years.
Yeah. But that's our conclusion of the haunted crime scene, Chris Watts' house, which we really just scratched the surface on. There's so much information.
So to finish off in this conclusion, what I got a happier note to what was happening. If any of your kids watch Cocomelon, they actually gave 3 of those kids the names of Shanann's kids, Cece, Bella, and Nico.
Because of that?
Because of that, to let them know, like, hey, we still remember you.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you watch Cocomelon, there's 3 kids in there that have those names: Bella, Cece, and Nico. So
that's nice
to remember those kids.
Well, that is a positive note to end on. Kinsey will not let my son Thomas, watch Cocomelon because she saw some TikTok about how it's like bad for their development. I personally think she just thinks the show's annoying and doesn't want him to watch it.
It's very annoying.
It is very annoying. It's fast paced, so everything's going like within 20 seconds. There's no real story behind it. It's like all rooted in 30-second music clips.
Yeah.
It's an ADHD conspiracy.
Right. That's one thing that's scary too, like instant gratification shows.
Yeah.
Right now, Thomas really only watches Bluey and Miss Rachel.
Dude,
that's pretty
Bluey
much
all day.
Bluey's great.
Bluey's amazing. I have a Rad Dad button-up shirt coming in the mail.
Heck yeah.
Very
nice.
soon.
Yeah.
I think Kinsey sent me something like a shirts they're making for dads and moms and stuff.
I saw one in New York, and it was $70. I was like, no.
Oh, my God. Hell no.
Not worth it.
I can make it for you.
It was at that that store that's in Home Alone 2.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The toy store?
Yeah.
And then
Douglas Toy
also that, what's the guy's name?
Macaulay Culkin?
No. A different movie. The guy who is in the movie with William, the volleyball.
Will Ferrell?
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Uh-huh.
He's like a kid. Yeah, he's like...
Oh, Castaway?
Oh, Big.
Yeah, Big.
Yeah.
So Big, he
You ever
goes
seen
into
that
this
movie?
toy store.
Big, yeah.
Yeah. And dances on the piano or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have the piano.
Come on, bro.
Man.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, right?
I love that movie, too. Well, sad.
So, I haven't seen that movie in forever, man. I think I've only actually seen it once, really. But I know it's like one of the greatest, everyone's favorite. Which I'm a Forrest Gump guy when it comes to Tom Hanks. I think Forrest Gump's one of my favorites.
I saw the Bubba Gump shrimp.
Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Heck
Yeah, right on Times Square.
I heard they're changing. They got bought out, though.
Yeah, they did. But
are they keeping that?
It was still there. They're actually owned by another restaurant company, like chain. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but I think they might still like have the like sole proprietorship over it. But they might just be changing the name for
whatever reason.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, who's that? I was walking in the door. Hello, guys. When I listen to podcasts, I listen to I See Dead People.
Tom Hanks signs like a 3-year contract
Hey, Tom!
to do a podcast
Hello, Will.
with us. Hello.
All right, guys, I got to go. I'm going to start running.
Wait, that was like 5 seconds. We paid you $10,000.
All right, Tom, we'll see you later, buddy.
Anyway, so we'll leave it off. Let's leave it off on a spooky note. Will, since you weren't here for the first episode, I want to hear your spooky story that you've been hyping up.
All right, so
Make sure to get in there with the mic.
I'm right up in it, right? So I remember it seems really vivid in my mind when I was like 8. I was living in Midland in Midland at the time, staying in Green Tree. If anybody
Where's
knows
that?
of that, it's just like kind of like a
Town?
no, it's still Midland. It's just kind of like a consolidated area
A
of
hood?
houses.
You were in the ghetto?
No.
So, okay.
Yeah,
I have a
it
sister
was
that lives
my
in
hood.
Midland, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. Go ahead.
Yeah. probably the more affluent area. Not that I'm trying to say anything about that, but
Oh, you're good.
uh,
We live in Burnet, man. Come on.
yeah. Anyways, I remember waking up in the middle of the night, already off to a bad start, probably a nightmare. But at the time, my sister was staying in the room right across the hallway to the left. So I had kind of like a straight shot of the hallway between her room and my parents' room.
Like classic horror movie hallway.
Yeah,
look.
like just, long hallway.
Yeah.
And I had, a straight direct look. I always kept my door open. I was that kid.
Ooh.
Because, I had to
Bruh.
have the door open for, quick exit access. If
You're
anything.
creepy.
Shh.
See, I'm the opposite. I always have to have it closed for
Yeah.
no intruders to come in, even though it's not locked.
I don't know. You could ask my daughter,
Right.
Addie. She's all about it. Keep the door open, Dad. Keep the light on in the hallway.
I got you.
I'm good.
Come at me, bro.
Anyways, so I don't know if y'all have heard. I'm connecting it to this because it's the only way I can describe it to give somebody a visual through my mouth. Words. There's that faceless guy, the gray faceless guy that.
Slenderman?
Slenderman.
Yeah. So something tall, but not Slenderman per se. He had like a top hat.
Dude, I just got chills.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a recurring sleep paralysis
Oh really?
spirit that people, I don't even know it's called spirit. That's something people with sleep paralysis see. And I just listened to something yesterday. It's called Hat Man.
Oh man,
People see that guy.
that's weird, man.
So
That freaks
keep going.
me out even more. So I just happened to open my eyes, or what I thought. I don't know. Maybe it was sleep paralysis. I was just dreaming it. I don't know. I saw in the hallway through my door this crouched man, if he stood up straight, he'd be like through the ceiling,
That's how everyone describes him.
and just walked by into my sister's room.
Like leaned his head down to get in.
Yeah, but so he was crouched over, as such, walking, and he still had, 10 more steps until my sister's room. I got up, freaking out, pull my blanket over my head, and just start screaming.
Yeah.
And my dad runs in the room. He's like, "Everything's okay? I see nothing wrong." I said, "Go check my sister's room now." And, unfortunately, she was a teenager at the time, so she was pissed. Is pissed a cuss word? I said it twice. I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
We won't count it.
I don't ca- no.
Anyways, so it just ended up being, I got in trouble for waking the whole house up. But I truly thought and think to this day I saw something. I don't know. It
Kind of close.
kind of close. It was more of like one of those circus top hats.
Like a Abraham
Like
Lincoln.
Slash almost.
Yeah. No, that's a thing. People, I listen to this other podcast called Radio Rental. And
Those,
this,
Yes.
those are
me see.
documented cases.
let me see.
So you're part of those documented cases.
Hatman. Yeah.
So
dude.
that might be a show that we can
That's
do
so
here.
weird that so many people see the same thing. I'm just so curious. Because
What a very
everyone,
distinguished gentleman.
That's not what I would say. I'd be like,
Don't. I'm trying to sleep.
yeah, but this guy was saying how he struggled with sleep paralysis and like bad nightmares, and he, for years, still not as often now, but sees a super tall man in his corner with a top hat, and he'll be like leaning over to get under stuff and things like that.
Nah, no, I'm not about it.
Yeah, that shit's.
I'm glad it only happened one
There's
time.
another
so
swear
far.
jar.
I'll have to
three.
tally it up after this.
There it is.
I will add it.
I
though.
got you. It's going in right now.
We will be doing a
Go ahead,
swear
Dad.
jar giveaway, maybe on like episode 5 or something. I don't know.
It depends on how far it goes, you know.
We're
Nobody
close.
wants $15, you know.
Right. Yeah. We'll ask ChatGPT what the best prize giveaway would be, and then we'll have to buy whatever that is.
A gift card.
We'll give it a budget.
We'll-
No, it can't be a gift card. That's too
hey,
late.
we can do like a Mojo's Coffee on us or something.
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah.
Maybe.
Tag 3 friends
Yeah.
and like this page, and make sure all your friends like this page. If all your contact lists have liked our page, then you're qualified to enter our giveaway.
But the stipulation is you cannot go back and unsubscribe.
Yes,
if not,
we will know.
We will
know. We will look.
I will go to your house at night with the top hat, crouching over, and get my gift card back.
Your
I'll
gift
send
card-
the guy over there.
We will give you the gift card, but it will be frozen for 90 days, and we will check to make sure you're still following us until we activate it.
Shoot. Yeah, there you go. Man, well, that sucks, bro, about that top hat guy, dude. That is creepy.
It's just one of those vivid memories, you know?
Hmm.
Like, it could be, you know, complete bogus, but I don't know. Just something that I always think about.
Just wait
It's
until I tell you what I've seen. So.
Yeah.
All right. What have you seen? Or were you going to tell one of your stories?
I mean, I can go ahead and recap
Oh,
the last episode and then
sorry.
save a different story for that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we're going to be recapping. What's his?
Cullen?
Cullen, yeah.
So
So Cullen was driving with you that day.
Right. So this is going to go back to episode 1 of our podcast. It was about haunted paintings, and the painting that ailed me that day was The Hands Resist Him. Don't look at it too intently like I did. But I actually reached out to Cullen and let him know that, hey, man, we're doing a podcast and your name was mentioned. And so I just asked him to send me something brief about what he was going through, what he went through in that moment. And shout out to Cullen. So he's going to be at Cullen_Francis on Instagram. That's my dude. And this is what he sent me. He said, we were driving down a windy back road on the way back to our plant after a long day of loading tires. Everything was cool. We were listening to BuzzFeed videos. So that was the podcast that we were listening to was BuzzFeed about hauntings. Yeah, so we can go back and find that one. He says, we hit a straight section of road when inexplicably, I can't say that word.
Inexplicably?
Yeah, that one. The truck started drifting to the right. The truck couldn't be corrected too quickly or it would become unsettled. Unfortunately, by trying to keep it gentle on the road, the truck got a bit too far over the narrow, angled shoulder. The truck pulled into the grass and jumped a culvert. So we kind of like were trying to get back onto the road. The front wheels were corrected back onto the road, but the rear stayed in the grass. The truck, being incredibly top heavy as it was loaded with tires, wouldn't correct all of the wheels onto the road. Being at an angle, the momentum of the truck and the drag from the grass and the dirt made the truck tip over. I watched the ground come at me in what felt like slow motion. I held on to the door handle and waited for the truck to stop sliding. Once the truck came to a stop, I boosted Tomas up and then used the bottom of the folded up seats as a ladder to get myself out. A woman that happened to be outside a little ways down the road sprinted over to us to check on us while her husband called 911. So that is what he sent. I'll put it on our Instagram and wherever else we put stuff. But yeah, it was really scary.
Glad y'all are both okay. That's scary.
Yeah, man. I was, like I said, I was more worried about him than anything. I was, still in shock, even till right now, thinking about it going over in my head. Just really don't understand how it all happened. I don't know if it was coincidence. I don't know if it just happened. It just was there. But that was just our story from episode 1 finalizing today.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on that painting, you told me about it that day, and that day I went on my lunch break. This is my fault, first of all, for not having my what is that called?
Seatbelt?
No, I had my seatbelt on. Damn. Here. But anyways, no, I had to get an inspection sticker. It was out.
I still need to get that, by the way. Mine's from last November.
Do it.
You're putting this out there right now on the potty?
Yeah, come after me, coppers.
They're right outside. There's 2 right across the street at that guy's house.
I went by so many cops, especially in Burnet, where there are cops everywhere, and no one's pulled me over ever.
Their stickers are probably out too. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But
Where do you go to get that? Because I got my inspection, but I don't have it.
So, I just went to that, the gas station right when you pass that.
the Shell station
The
towards Bertram.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could go there. There's a couple places. You just go get your inspection. They usually waive the $7 fee that it is. They drive your car off the lot for like 2 minutes, drive it back, and then they give you a paper and you just take it to the county office, and they the one where the big police station is, you know, like if you're going towards Houston.
Big PlayStation?
Police station.
Police station.
Oh.
Yeah, the municipal.
Mine's on gaming.
Yeah. PlayStation. I love PlayStation.
Let's go.
Hey, PlayStation. But anyways, yeah, that's what.
Drop
you can go into
goods.
depth.
Super interesting. Sorry for just bringing up the most boring question ever.
But yeah.
We're also here for advice.
We're also, we should do a stream where we do like call-ins. I've done
Yeah.
that before on like Reddit used to have a streaming platform on there, and me and my brother would get on there and like take calls from Skype from people. It was so funny. That'd be fun for us to do one night, like have a few beers and do that.
Let's go.
Well, guys, this was I feel like there was a much darker vibe to this one.
Yeah.
Didn't want to. We're all jokesters, but we don't want to joke around too much during something like this because it is tragic, and so it was a darker vibe. So maybe we'll pick something a little goofier and fun for our next one, so we can lift the spirits back up, because this is just like depressing, man.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to lift too many spirits up?
No,
Oh,
no, that's
you're
true.
right. Please stay rest. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I really enjoy doing this. So I'm looking forward to doing many more episodes.
Yes.
Send us comment what we should cover if there's anything creepy, because that would be cool to get some fresh ideas.
Yes.
This Chris Watts one's been done a million times, but I've never seen a podcast done about the paranormal side of it, so that was cool.
Right.
But
also, we're looking for things that are local too. So like things around Burnett County, Kingsland, Buchanan.
I guess Marble Falls.
I guess Marble Falls.
Bear King
Oh, that place is delicious.
Bear King Brewery, I love that place too. Sponsor us, Bear King.
Yeah. Well, we'll
All
do
day.
we'll do a podcast there if you sponsor us.
Yes, dude. My
Neighborhood Watch.
mom. You know the cartoon Paranorman?
Yes.
My mom thinks I look like him because I have ginormous eyebrows, and she's just like, "Hey, can you send me a picture of Paranorman?" She just texted me that. Anyway, well, I appreciate you guys listening. Hit us up on Instagram, and we'll see you hopefully 2 weeks. Maybe if we have time, we'll do one, and maybe next weekend or something.
Right.
You just got to stick your hair straight up, and then you're right there, man.
Yeah,
There you go.
I do have. We'll post a picture of my incredibly just embarrassing eyebrows.
Just the eyebrows.
Last story, first time I ever went to go get my eyebrows waxed, because I used to get them waxed, but now I have like a little shaver for them.
Mm.
I was super embarrassed, because it's like, you know, when you're a young guy, that's kind of like, you see that as like a girl thing, you know?
don't wax
So I was
my
like,
stuff.
so I walk in, I was like 16, I was with my dad, and there were like two cute girls there, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so embarrassing. So I was like, need to get my eyebrows cleaned up, and I was like, can you like keep it down a little bit? And I went and sat down. Those girls are still there. Immediately this super loud Asian lady comes out and is like, eyebrows, get back here. Right in front of these girls. And I was like, oh my God.
Hey, you the guy with the eyebrows. You come into
I wasn't I wasn't going to do the accent, but you did it. But all right, but we'll end on that happy note. What do you guys think?
I think that's great, man.
Cool.
I think we did it.
And
that's
it's good to have Will here for
Yeah.
his first one too. So
It was good to hear.
We'll
Will.
see how many more times I show up.
yeah, he'll be in New York again next week.
Heck
Oh yeah, we got to
man.
add to the swear jar. We'll be doing a tally of the swear jar after I edit
You're
this.
at 75.
No,
No. We will be if we keep it up.
right? I almost just cussed to add one more, but I'm not going to do it. All right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
See you on the next one.